Today I turned 30 and I genuinely can't believe it. I remember in high school thinking about when I was gonna be older, what I was gonna do with my life. I was just always so afraid. I had this unrealistic fear and anxiety about my future that I was just gonna amount to nothing. I wasn't gonna be happy. I was gonna be a failure. No one was gonna love me. I don't really know where that came from, but I carried that with me throughout pretty much all of my teenage years and then a little bit into my 20s. And now I'm 30, and within the last 10 years, there are 30 things that I've learned that have drastically changed my entire life, and I would love to share them with you. The first one is move or stay for people, not opportunities. Something I learned in my life is my greatest value is the friendships that I have in my life. Earlier in my 20s, I was given the opportunity to go to New York for a few months and do some creative projects where I was getting paid, and I was a photographer shooting for musicians and all this amazing stuff. And I was there for about 2 months, and I remember after I finished a project, I went to my favorite pizza spot and I texted my friend asking him to meet me for pizza, and he texted me back like, "You're in New York, I'm in California, I can't do that." And in that moment, I realized that I want to be able to be in a place where I can have opportunities and celebrate that with the people that I care most about in my life. Now, obviously, there are gonna be moments where you have to move or you're gonna have to say goodbye to people. I'm not talking about that, but I think in my life, something I so value is creating opportunities around me so that I can continuously stay near the people that I love. The second one is just start. This is a motto that I have committed to in all of my 20s, and it is simply just start. Start before you know how, start before you have all of the wisdom, start before you have enough resources, just start. Something I learned is that I like to prepare, I like to plan, but I feel like if I'm always waiting for the perfect opportunity or just enough information or just enough money, I'm never actually going to start, and it's just gonna end up delaying things for a long time. The third is learn about other cultures and places in the world. So when I was 18, I volunteered for an NGO, which is a non-government organization. And this organization took me all around the world. Now, this travel wasn't glamorous. We weren't staying in hotels by the beaches. We were working in refugee camps in Greece. We were working in villages in Papua New Guinea. We were working with teachers in the outbacks of Australia. In a lot of ways, it was uncomfortable, but in a lot of ways, it changed the trajectory of my life because of the education that I got from learning about different cultures, different people, living in different circumstances, and just being exposed to the reality of the world. This education changed my whole worldview, and it's been the number one thing that I can suggest to people is if you have the means and if you have an opportunity to travel and serve and do something bigger than yourself in a different country, do it. Now, a lot of people are like, yeah, but I don't have the money for it, and I totally understand that and I hear that, but I do think there are a lot of organizations where you can volunteer and they will take care of your room, they'll take care of your board, and you just volunteer with them, like Save the Children. There's a lot of feeding programs for refugee camps, for a lot of people that are displaced. There are tons of organizations that you can get connected with to travel and to be part of something bigger than yourself. The fourth is do the emotional work. It will only help you or hurt you in the future. Now, because I was traveling at such a young age and I left home at such a young age, I think I created a bit of abandonment anxiety, also anxiety related to change. Now, I kind of ignored that for 5 years, and it started to build up into this thing that was starting to spiral out of control. I was having anxiety attacks in the most interesting locations and situations, and I quickly realized that I had to do the work to figure it out. Now, I'm not a psychologist, and every anxiety and situation is different for each person, but for my specific situation, I heard about this thing related to vaccines. Now, the science behind vaccines is that you get given a little bit of the poison or the sickness so that your body creates an immunity towards it. And so with that idea, I started exposing myself to the thing that gave me anxiety, and slowly over time, I started to learn why I was getting anxiety and what that meant to me, I guess, and how I could fix it and learn from it. And yeah, I still struggle with anxiety here and there, but it's not as bad. And I think it is kind of a superpower. It allows me to see people who are also struggling with anxiety, see them eye to eye, be able to empathize with them or sympathize. Sorry, I don't know the right word, but essentially feel what they're feeling. And it allows me to see humans, I guess, in a more human way. Yeah, do the emotional work because it's important. A good partner changes everything. This means, business partner. This means romantic partner, who you marry. My whole life changed when I met my now wife, but at the time my friend, and then became my girlfriend. I was very lost. I was constantly looking for validation. I was constantly looking for approval. And that because of that, I was always trying different things, hoping that it would stick. I tried photography, I tried music videos, I tried to start my own business in clothes, I tried this job, I tried that job, I thought about moving here, I thought about doing this. And then when I met my girlfriend, who was a healthy human, and she started validating me in a very healthy way, I started to realize that I was good enough. It was okay. I didn't need to be this crazy millionaire, billionaire who has 1 million followers and is changing everything about the world. I can just be me. And I started to realize that I'm good enough. And she genuinely changed my entire life. And once I started having that reality of like, yeah, I am good enough and I am loved and I should love myself, I started putting my time and effort into the things that I actually cared about, and I started to see those things grow. So a good partner genuinely changes everything. Number 6, don't buy new things. I don't like spending money on new things unless they are, something that is going to benefit me for a long time. A camera, light equipment. But I never bought new things to look better. Save more than you spend. I feel like a lot of us are in this world where we're just constantly spending money. Something that changed my whole life is I stopped spending money and I started saving that money. Money buys time, not things. This is also something I decided very early on when I started making money, that I was going to use my money to buy more time to spend with the people I love, opposed to buying new things, because those new things will just create kind of like an appetite and you'll have to keep feeding that appetite. But I wanted my money to be able to give me more time to do the things that I love or spend more time with the people that I care about. Be patient with yourself. If you're going to start something new, if you're going to date somebody, if you're going to move to a new city, the biggest encouragement and thing that I learned in my life is you have to be patient. Things don't change in a day. They don't change in a week. They don't change in a month. It takes a lot of time. And because of our phones and the instant gratification and things being, delivered to us in an hour or the next day, I feel like we are starting to think that things should change instantly. But you have to be patient. If you're trying to break a habit, if you're trying to create a new habit, if you're trying to start YouTube, if you're trying to start a business, you have to be patient with yourself in the beginning. 10, compartmentalize things. Don't stress, worry about everything all at once. This drastically changed my entire life. I feel like in my 20s, I was always worrying about the next thing. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna do it? And I started to compartmentalize things. And that's just the best way that I can say it. Instead of worrying about something that I know was going to be a problem 2 weeks from now, I started, compartmentalizing, like, okay, I'll get to that once I get to the things that are a little bit more pressing. And as I started compartmentalizing my problems and doing them one at a time, it just allowed me to figure things out a lot more simply and a lot more peacefully. Drive a boring car that costs no money. Pretty simple. Don't spend money on things that you think will make you look good or better than others. That's it. I drove a Prius for a long time. I don't have a car anymore. I just take the bus and the train. Learn how to invest, pay taxes, start a business. Now, starting a business is optional. If you don't want to start a business, don't start. But I think it's really important to learn how to invest. I think it's really important to learn how to pay taxes, to figure out how money works, whether you have a little or a lot. I think it's just a fundamental thing. I think it should be taught in schools at a primary level. I think what I'm realizing is money is a percentage. And if you stop looking at it as like, I have $1,000, I have $5,000, and you start looking at it as a percentage, like, these are all my expenses. 35% of the money I get goes to my expenses, which means I have 75% or 65% that I can use. And And then you start realizing like, oh, I'm putting 50% of that into things that don't matter, and I have X amount left over. Once you start thinking about money in percentages and how you can put a percentage into your future, how you can put a percentage into your family, I think that is just going to help you in the long run. So again, learn how to invest, learn how to pay taxes. Coffee break. Get married. It changed my life. Take extreme responsibility when you mess up. Now, I'm somebody that is brutally honest. Sometimes I feel like people say that as like a badge of like, I'm super honest. It gets me into a lot of trouble, to be honest. But something I just can't live with or without is when I mess up. I feel like I have to just talk through it with the person. You know, say I do something and it upsets my wife. I can't just sit on that and ignore it. I have to work through it with her. Or with a friend or with a business partner. I think pride is very dangerous, and we all make mistakes, and we've all heard that before. But if we can, in that moment, just breathe and be like, okay, I made a mistake. Understand that the person that you made the mistake to, you being honest and vulnerable with them will garner more brownie points, or it will garner more trust, and it will help your relationship dynamic way more than if you did the thing the right way the first time. There's something about brokenness and it being repaired that strengthens relationships in the long run. So take extreme responsibility when you mess up. Be quick to say sorry. Talk to strangers. Guys, if you're walking down the road and there's someone that's interesting or something, just ask them a question. Talking to strangers is the greatest thing. It helps with fear of man looking stupid. It's just the best thing. Compliment strangers. Breathing exercises. I started doing breathing exercises, not like every day or every moment when I wake up, but periodically through maybe a month, I'll do like, 10 breathing exercises for the month. It's not like rigid or anything, but breathing exercises are really beautiful, especially in this fast-paced world, because it just slows your mind down. It allows you to be present. It allows you to be, I do Wim Hof, and anytime I do Wim Hof afterwards, I feel like I don't need to look at my phone the rest of the day. I feel very at peace. I feel like all the dopamine urge and desires have left my body, and I can just be like still and quiet. So I would definitely, advise doing breathing exercises, and they also allow me to process things really, really well. Go on hikes. It's the same thing as breathing exercises. It just slows you down. You're in nature, things are quiet. It's important in this fast-paced world. Longer mornings over longer nights. It's something I love, is having a longer morning, being able to wake up, have some water, go on a run, do an exercise, journal, do a breathing exercise, have some coffee, and then start work. I find that way more enjoyable, mainly because I feel very still and quiet in the morning. Whereas at night, I find myself usually either going to drink something like a substance or watch a movie. It's usually entertainment and dopamine focused, whereas the morning feels very reflective. So I would rather have the longer reflective time than more dopamine time. I pursued my own career. I built a business. This is, something that is going, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this, because I don't think everybody wants to start a business. It changed my life, and I think the way that we're heading in the world, it feels like starting your own business. It doesn't have to be a massive thing. It can be a small side thing, but I feel like it's important. I don't know. It's allowed me to do things I never dreamed of. I live in Spain now. I don't rely on a boss. I don't rely on a time schedule. I don't rely on sponsors. I don't rely on anybody. I have my own business, and I get to put my time and effort into building something that I care about. And I think that's very valuable. Now, maybe I would take out the word business and just say I built something I'm passionate about, because that could be a garden, that could be a farm, that could be a house, that could be a family. I think just having something that you're passionate about, that you find purpose in, and you can build it on your own, I think that's really important. Now, I think a caveat into my 30s is hopefully I can build something that's not related to business and work. or I can just have time that I can build something that gives me life, and I don't have to worry about what people will think or views or things like that. Journal. Journaling is amazing. I know there's a lot of science behind it. I don't know what it is, but I think it forces you to actually think through what you're thinking as you're writing, because you can't write as fast as you think. At least I can't. So as I'm writing, I'm thinking about the thing that I'm writing. And I'm like, is that true? Am I struggling with that? Am I happy about that? Am I thankful about that? I also journal things I'm thankful for. That is life-changing. I feel like there's so much negative in the world that if you can just journal 5 things that you're thankful for. I'm thankful for my wife. I'm thankful for coffee. I'm thankful that I can, be filming this video on a Monday morning. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for the food I eat. I'm thankful for the hot shower that I have. It is insane how rich a lot of us are, and how little time we take to be thankful for those things. So journal. Give yourself time. I feel like I already said that. It feels like it's the same as being patient, but give yourself time. Oh, that's right. Give yourself time. So it's similar to be patient with yourself, but give yourself time. So if you're going to start something, give yourself 2 years, right? Don't give yourself 2 months like, oh, I hope this video hits the first time I post it. It's like, okay, commit to posting videos for a year. Commit to starting this business for a year. Commit to designing for a year. Give yourself an amount of time to work on it. And then once that timeline kind of gets to the end, do an audit on yourself. How am I doing? Where could I change? Should I give up? Should I stop? Did I give it everything I could and it's just not for me? Give yourself a certain amount of time, commit to the thing. If it doesn't work, ask yourself why and see if it's time to move on or keep moving forward. Move your body. Whether that's exercise, whether that's running, I guess that's exercise, whether that's hikes, whether that's stretching. Guys, we need to move our bodies. We need to stop spending so much time on our phones and just move our bodies. Especially as you get older, you're gonna be way more thankful. There are times that I do not wanna go to the gym or I don't wanna go and be active, but every time I get back from doing that active thing, I am so much happier. Big caveat, if you're not into like working out or like running or the traditional like move your body exercises, go do something fun. Go learn how to surf, go play tennis, like go on a hike where the views are amazing, like where there's a reward at the end of it. Like I don't think that moving your body has to be this tenuous, like, oh, I'm going to the gym and I'm killing myself to get bigger or lose weight. It's like, no, like go have fun. Go play something with your friends. Like move your body and enjoy doing it at the same time. Or go to the gym and, get really big. I don't know. Don't react, be patient. This is huge. There's a lot of struggles in life that will come your way. At least for me, I've encountered a lot of different things that were really hard in my 20s. I lived in a lot of different situations that were good, that were bad. I got a lot of bad news. I was away from my family when this bad news, like I lived in Australia. Side note, there is a construction thing happening right now and there's an alarm going off. They're testing the alarm. If you hear that, I'm so sorry. I'm almost done the video, so I'm just gonna continue. But don't react to things. Be someone in those moments that is poised, that is patient, that goes for a walk and thinks about things and then comes back and people can rely on you. Don't fall into the trap of needing more. This is something I am working through right now, working on social media, views, money, followers. There's no ceiling. And it just feels like the whole world is needing more. I need more views, I need more clothes, I need more money, I need more attention. And I wanna learn how I can be content. I think content is such a beautiful quality. When you see like an older person just sitting on a bench, reading a newspaper, I just can't help but think like, that's so beautiful. Like you're just in that moment. And I wanna learn how to be content and not need more. Slow and quiet is okay. We live in Barcelona now. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of parties. There's a lot of things to do. But being slow and being inside where it's quiet, it's okay. You don't always need to be doing something. You don't always need to be where the noise is. You can be at home, watching a movie, playing a game. It's okay. You can disagree with people and still love them. I think something I've grown to really love while I was in California is there's a lot of people I disagree with on big things, on small things, and I'm still very good friends with all of them. Maybe it's just the pocket of friends that I have, but I think the greatest thing about that is different circumstances call for different people with different worldviews. And if you're always around the people with your worldview or your ideology or this is right, when a different circumstance happens, it can be important to have someone that sees things differently than you and can help you through those times. Don't be afraid to look dumb is the 30th thing. Don't be afraid to look dumb. Starting YouTube, putting videos out online, in the beginning I looked really dumb, but I'm glad that I did it, and I'm glad that I did look dumb because it's changed my life forever. And it's allowed me to create friendships and relationships and opportunities and moments that I could not have imagined. I think there's a really cool cliche saying where it's like, it's cringe until it works. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think it's important to look dumb because the people that you idolize or you're like, oh, I want to be like them, it's like they most likely feel dumb doing the thing they're doing. Sometimes I feel dumb filming and recording things, but I just know that there are people that can benefit, and I think that's a really valuable thing. Yeah, so if you made it this far, leave a comment, let me know. Say you're part of the 20% because only 20% of the people that watch this video, I feel like it's gonna be a lot smaller because it's such a longer video. Leave a comment saying you're part of the 5% and let me know something you've learned that has changed your life. And maybe the comment section can become this section of people sharing advice and wisdom that they've learned. Anyway, happy birthday to me, I guess. Yeah, I love you all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. Just know that all those things were shared more out of my circumstances and my personal life. Obviously, not every single thing is gonna fit everyone's life. These are just things that I gathered and learned from in my 20s. So here's to 30. I'll make another one when I'm 40. That's a crazy thought. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Love you all.